And welcome back for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping us lock up the bad guys. I'm your host, Chris Wright, along with Calhoun County Sheriff Matthew Wade. Good to see you, Sheriff.
Good to be here. I want to talk about our festive graphics.
Yeah.
I like the Santa hat. You know, people are doing things. That's actually in my office right now. People put it up and did that for me. So
Nice. Good
things are happening. Morale's high. People are doing great things. Got a couple of new people that's on staff, different roles, kind of
It's kind of like the coaching carousel in college football. You see one coach gets fired or moves on and everybody else starts moving around. You move up to sheriff and we've got some other holes that have to be filled.
I got some other holes that have to be filled, but John Garlick was my choice for chief deputy. John has a lot of education and experience, and I think he's the very tough decision. I want to express that there was several people in my office that would have been excellent choices as well. That's the only thing about promoting people is you only get to promote one, and there's others that were wonderful choices, but I feel John's the best choice and the man for the job. I know he'll do a great job.
Somebody was asking me about that particular situation because they recognize how valuable it's been having John as the mental health officer, which is a resource that a lot of communities don't have and we didn't have for a long time. Is he still going to be able to maintain that?
He is. John's a licensed counselor. He brings a lot of things to the table that's kind of, when I say oddities, it's just don't normally put them together, but John brings a lot of different aspects to the table, different purviews, and that's something that, you want people to tell you the truth, and you want people to tell you when you're off track or different viewpoint. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm looking for, is people to make sure that we stay true to what my hashtag has been, servant's heart, and I want to make sure we have a servant's heart for the people that we serve, and that's where John's heart lies, and I know it is, and I know he'll do a wonderful job.
And he's not the only person that's changing roles.
He's not the only person. Marcus Wood, he began his career with us as a young man, 18 years old, and working in the jail, and I've made him a captain, and once again, Marcus is a good man that has experience in the military. He left for a short while, teaching and training all new recruits for the state of Alabama. Every new law enforcement officer in the state of Alabama went to the Law Enforcement Academy here on Fort McClellan, and he trained those guys. So he knows his business, and his role is going to be for operations. And once again, two really good guys that I know will bring different diversified viewpoints to me, and so we can get a good rounded decision on what we need to do to serve our people.
All right, very good. Well, let's talk about what our viewers have been up to over the last week.
They've never let us down. 2 people arrested this week brings our count up to 3,866 people. Once again, we got to have your help, and without it, we can't do it, and thank you for that.
Now, we've got a whole fresh lineup of individuals that we're looking for, and we will show you the first half of that lineup here in just a few moments when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
a crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a rich,
like me.
I once was
homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost.
But now I am
sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
I have my own lawn care service. One day I had some blades that was bent. I was probably here for 5 minutes, and they had me back on the road going.
It helps me make more money simply because it's a more dependable machine. And side-by-side comparisons, people want to say they're better, but I've driven them, and Toro is the best.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston Stroud with Family Links, and this is the Family Tip of the Week. Divorce or separation, it's not a topic we usually think of when we're considering holiday plans. But for children whose parents live separately, holidays can be both wonderful and complicated. It's stressful to be moving from one home to another or to travel across town or across the country just to visit with your own family on the holidays. So imagine how this time can be especially stressful for children of divorce or separation. So here are some quick tips to help when you're sharing your precious child with someone who you no longer want to share a life with. Number 1, protect the child's relationships with both parents. The relationship with the other parent must be fiercely protected, cared for, nurtured, and supported by both parents. What this means for you: resist the urge to vilify your ex and instead share the things you appreciate about your ex with your child. Make sure your child has as much time with each of his or her parents as possible, and always be available to help your child process and work through any negative thoughts or feelings he or she might have about the other parent. Remember that you and your co-parent are your child's best example of emotional maturity and responsibility. Number 2, make transitions smooth and predictable. Transitions between households are difficult. There's no way around that. It's completely bewildering to switch homes, so do your best to provide consistency and clarity during and after the transition and before the next one. And lastly, get professional support for your child. Seek professional help for your child. Don't rely on your child to help you work through your issues with your ex, and don't expect that your child will just get over it. For more parenting or support or information, please contact Family Links at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Cecil Duncan. Mr. Duncan, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on selling cigarettes to a minor. And meet Crystal Sharifi. Miss Sharifi, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property first. We'd like you to take a look at Rodrigue Lewis. Mr. Lewis, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for harassment. And this is Thomas Cunningham. Mr. Cunningham, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for probation violation on possession of marijuana first. And meet Renee Allen. Miss Allen, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property second. And this is Shannon Brown. Mr. Brown, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on writing multiple worthless checks. And last up for the first half of our lineup, Robert Miller. Mr. Miller, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted on probation violation for possession of marijuana first and failure to appear on child support, the face of a deadbeat dad. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
All right, we are back. We will have more bad guys for you here in just a few minutes, but before we do that, we want to introduce you to April LaFollette from Interfaith Ministries, and also from Anniston First United Methodist Church. We worship together.
Yes.
Didn't we have a great service on Sunday night with the music?
Yeah, an incredible way to worship with music as you come into this season that is so holy. Great way to start it for lots of people.
And this is a massive season for just about everybody for lots of various reasons, so many things going on. Interfaith Ministries, this really is a very busy time of the year for you guys. Before we talk too much about that, let's make sure everybody knows what Interfaith Ministries is.
We are a nonprofit formed about 41 years ago. We are located in downtown Anniston, actually in the back of First United Methodist Church. We rent space from them. We are a separate nonprofit, and we provide assistance to folks who find themselves in a situation of crisis. We actually have 7 different programs that we administer at the moment, although those programs change according to what the needs are in our community. Mm-hmm. So lots of different ways that we can help people and meet them where they are. We have a mission of bringing God's people together to serve God's people in need. And what we want to do is provide an opportunity for people to help others as an expression of their faith, either by volunteering or supporting Interfaith financially. We only have 7 part-time employees, so it's the volunteers that really make everything happen there.
And the key word here, well, ministry obviously certainly is a very important word, but interfaith is also very important because having the office there at the Methodist Church, it may be easy for some people to think this is an organization that's operated by the Methodist Church, but no, it involves all the faiths that we have represented in our community. You mentioned the temple, the mosque, even the Baptists participate.
They do. All denominations are a part of it. It's important to remember, too, that we were formed by all of those denominations. The leaders came together to create a place where they could send their parishioners who might need assistance, or people who came into their offices requesting assistance. We are that place. If you have someone in need, they can come to us and we can make those hard decisions. Look at the whole picture, because quite often when someone needs assistance, it's not just for one thing, and there's a reason that they have come to the point that they need that assistance. So we want to look at them holistically and try to meet their needs, but eliminate them from ever needing help again.
All right, and Sheriff, I know that you run into this on a daily basis, people that have various needs, and you know, we all run into this as we're out and about. We see people that have needs, and you want to help each one that you can, but you can't do everything individually, and you can't possibly understand what each person needs.
Having those resources is very valuable.
When you contribute to Interfaith Ministries, you can look yourself in the heart and soul and say, okay, I have done something to help this person, and you then give them that knowledge of Interfaith Ministries is here to help you, and you truly have helped that individual and their family.
That's exactly. We want to be there because quite often we're going to follow them. It's going to take a little while for us to solve what their issues may be. And we can ask those hard questions. Sometimes it's really the questions you need to get answered are hard, and it's difficult to pose them in a way. And our employees, they're there to do that. They have that experience. That's where their education has led them. It's where their experience has led them. So that's what we're there for.
And again, as you mentioned employees, you have just a small staff that's all part-time.
All part-time.
Including yourself. You work, what, about 20 hours a week?
20 hours a week with a big wink.
She does more than 20 hours a week, but as far as being employed, it's 20 hours a week.
Exactly.
We know how that goes, don't we, Sheriff?
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Hey, that's the reason why I use the hashtag Servant's Heart.
That's
she
it.
does something she believes in.
But when I'm donating to a cause, I've become very skeptical about donations that I make, because you see organizations that have CEOs. Okay, it's a nonprofit organization, but the CEO is out there on their yacht bringing in massive amounts of money. And some of these organizations that have CEOs like that, they're doing some great work, but something just kind of feels wrong there. But when you see an organization like Interfaith Ministries, where it's all part-time employees, and they are vastly outnumbered by 300 volunteers?
Come through every month. When I left today to come down here, I actually had 7 volunteers in the office working, doing various things. They serve as the receptionist. They are the ones who greet folks who come into our office in need of assistance. They are the ones who oversee the showers. We allow the homeless to take showers there. They do all of our data input, which is important to be able to keep adequate records. They do all of that. They deliver every meal that gets delivered. So I had all of those people, and I only had 3 employees in there when I left.
And that's a great sign that your contributions are truly going to go to the missions that you're trying to serve. And we need to take a break here in just a second, but I want to talk about those missions specifically. What's going on here at the holiday season and what goes on throughout the year, because this is not a Christmas organization.
No.
Even though it's very active during the Christmas season.
Very active right now. We actually have 7 different programs that we administer. One that folks really know us by is our Meals on Wheels, and that's hot noontime meal delivery to people who are homebound. Our Christmas program.
Yeah. Let's just pause for a second so we can talk about those in depth here. We will be right back to talk more about Interfaith Ministries, and we'll have the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me. Rig A. Marole at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
I have a lot of land that I have to keep up. I'd recommend Mahindra. I've never had any trouble with mine. Like I said, I do a lot of bush hogging. I do a lot of garden tilling. The service department has been great. Every time I've ever called or needed anything done, they have done it for me.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was.
Homeless,
Broken. Sad.
just lost. But now I am sober.
Happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Nokomis Harris. Mr. Harris, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on child support, the face of a deadbeat dad. And meet Deborah Pleasant. Miss Pleasant, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted on probation violation for manufacture of a controlled substance and probation revocation on false reporting to law enforcement. And take a look at Glenda Smithy. Miss Smithy, last known to be living in Piedmont. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Dundrell Ackles. Mr. Ackles, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of marijuana second and possession of a forged instrument ×2. And meet Jeff Brasher. Mr. Brasher, last known to be living in East Aboga. He's wanted for failure to appear on child support, the face of a deadbeat dad. And last up in our lineup this week, Leo Lang. Mr. Lang, last known to be living in Talladega. He's wanted for theft of property first. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of these folks, and we hope you do, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 256-238-1414.
We will have more crime fighting in just a few minutes. We'll have our Crime Stoppers segment of the show, and also we'll have our Crazy Criminal of the Week. But right now, April LaFollette is with us from Interfaith Ministries, and we're talking about the different ministries that are involved.
Right.
And right now, of course, Christmas time, a lot of folks are familiar with that program, but for those that aren't, I know you still are accepting donations for the Christmas program.
We indeed are, and we are still serving people at the moment for who might need Christmas assistance. We actually partner with the Salvation Army because we think it's important to collaborate with other agencies. And we interviewed people in October for assistance with Christmas. And we have helped a large group already, and we are continuing to do so until Christmas actually happens.
You know, a lot of people think, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And then they get closer and they realize,
sometimes you just can't. We had a fella come in earlier yesterday who was a welder by profession and had been hurt at his job, and so he is out without workman's comp because he had not been in his job for very long. Single parent, 2 children, wasn't going to be able to provide Christmas, and so we were able to help him. Those are the ones you want to reach out to, those people who find themselves in a crisis at this moment in time, and we can help them through that.
And if somebody's watching right now thinking, that's me or someone
I know.
They can
call Interfaith Ministries.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about some of the other ministries that you have.
We actually have a free dental clinic for people who are uninsured. We administer that with Bruce Cunningham, who is a dentist in Jacksonville. He helps us to oversee that. And local dentists come in and give their time for free. They see people 1 or 2 days a week.
So the services are actually provided by licensed practicing dentists that truly know what they're doing, and they're active in this every day.
So it doesn't involve stringing a door?
No.
Not every day. The dentists come in and they work on their off day. They give of their time. Truly another example, like you said, of a servant's heart. They feel the need to do that. If you find yourself without dental insurance, you really have nowhere else that you can go in Calhoun County. We also have a community garden where we allow people to work in a garden. We teach you how to garden, and we allow you to take that harvest home. We have volunteers who oversee that. Through that, we also feed part of the soup bowl. We give food to them so that they can serve fresh food to those who come to eat at the soup bowl. We have an emergency assistance program which helps people who might find themselves in time of crisis. We are not a bill payer, but if you find yourself in a crisis, there is a way that we can help you. It might be with a utility disconnect. If you have that, we can help. If you have a prescription that you need filled, we work very closely with St. Michael's Clinic. They see people who are uninsured every day. We serve all of their people to help them get their prescriptions that they need. In turn, we funnel them through a long-term prescription assistance program that we have called Senior RX, which is not just for seniors. That's the important thing to take away from that. It may be for the uninsured, the underinsured, those who find themselves just at a point without insurance and they can't afford their prescriptions. We want to help you with that because that leads to a healthy lifestyle, makes you a good part of our community.
I imagine that right now one of the things that a lot of people are dealing with is, okay, I've got insurance, but I also have this very large copay. Or yeah.
If you have Medicare, the donut hole, when you fall into that, although you and I don't know about that yet, if you fall into that, you find yourselves having to pay for all of your prescriptions. And if you're on Medicare, you're generally on a limited income, and that really presents an issue. Most times people won't buy their prescriptions. So we're there to help with that long-term prescription assistance program.
A lot of the services I'm hearing you talk about are things that really help people that are in a bad situation with a little bit of a desperation to it, avoid getting to that desperate situation where they end up being a client of the sheriff's.
And that's what we want to do. We want to meet them in their time of crisis and help bring them out of that. It could be that they are facing homelessness, and that's really the goal of every program that we have, is to eliminate someone being homeless. We have another program which actually does serve the homeless, which I think is one of the most valuable programs we've instituted. It's called the Open Door. And we created it when we moved into the space that we're in there behind First Methodist, because we had the room to actually receive the homeless and to give them a safe place to be, a warm place to be in the winter, a cool place to be in the summer. We allow them to use our phones. They receive their mail there. We have computers they can use. They come in every morning. We provide coffee, and most importantly, we let them shower there.
Yeah. And it's a great location, I think, for the services that you're offering, being just a block away from Zen Park. I think most people know where that is, and that's an area where a lot of the community that needs these services congregates.
It's a central area, and it borders on the edge of what is a poor area, and we are there central to help them. It's not hard for folks to get there when they need help.
All right, we got about half a minute left.
Yeah.
People that want to help, whether it be volunteering or contributing, whatever they want to do, how can they get involved?
They can call our offices, Interfaith Ministries, 237-1472, or visit our website, interfaithcalhoun.org.
Interfaithcalhoun.org.
.org.
All right, April, thank you very
Chris.
much.
It's been
Merry
great
Christmas.
to be here. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our Crazy Criminal of the Week and our Crime Stoppers segment here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit.
Ready for a new ride? Get ready for Rig. I'm Rig A. Marole, and I am ready with all the fancy jargon, made-up expenses, marketing gimmicks, and flat-out lies that you've come to expect when you go car shopping. You want to pay way too much for a piece of junk like this? Get a load of me, Rig A. Marole, at your neighborhood used car dealer. I'll have you marolling off this lot in your new vehicle.
I'm Marty Boyles, and I guarantee no rigmarole here at Jacksonville Auto Sales. Just good cars and trucks at fair prices. We're in Jacksonville across from Walmart, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
I have my own lawn care service. One day I had some blaze that was bent. I was probably here for 5 minutes, and they had me back on the road going.
It helps me make more money simply because it's a more dependable machine. In side-by-side comparisons, people want to say they're better, but I've driven them, and Toro is the best.
Hey folks, come see us at Foothills Tractor. We're your one-stop shop for anything you need. Locally owned, locally operated, give you the best customer service guaranteed.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to put your deer stalkers on and help our investigators with these cases. First up, on November 30th, a white Dodge Challenger was broken into at Len Costner Auto in Alexandria. And on December 2nd, this vehicle was burned on Foster West Road. And sometime on December 2nd, a vehicle was broken into on Short Street in Oxford. Damage was done to the dash, where the thief or thieves attempted to steal the radio. And sometime between December 3rd and December 6th, the coin-operated vacuum and air pump was broken into at Paccasac, located on Highway 9 and Highway 78. They got away with the money that was in there. And also on December 2nd, approximately 2:37 a.m., 3 individuals were caught on camera casing out Shotgun Sports and Supplies on Highway 431 in Saks. The individuals did not break into the store, but were walking around it at a very odd hour. And that's it for our caseload this week. If you have any information on these cases, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, our crazy criminal this week is Craig Barnes. He had to go back to the courthouse after he had violated the terms of his release. He was pretty confident that it's just going to be, okay, here's a little hearing, I'll pay a fine or whatever, and then I get to go home. So he brought his friend along with him. Turns out that he did not get to go home, which caused a little bit of a problem. We can see with the mugshot here, his friend is in the mugshot with him. And
tell me the friend dimed him out on what he'd been doing?
No, had a little issue of what to do with the friend. He left the parrot out in a tree outside the courthouse when he went in. Thought I'll be right out in a little bit and I could take you home. But ended up not being able to take his bird home because he didn't get to go home. So the parrot ended up in the mug shot with Mr. Barnes. But you'll be happy to know that the parrot did not have to go to jail with him.
Is this an instance of birds of a feather flock together? I'm just asking.
He could use a few more feathers on his head, I think that Craig could. But,
easy.
We'll tell that joke while we still can. You still got some up there.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, so I guess choose carefully which friends you bring with you to the courthouse, I guess.
Yeah, you want to make sure that when it's hard to soar with the eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys.
Okay. With that, we're going to get out of this as quickly as we can. We don't have time for any more of those. We do appreciate you taking some time to watch Calhoun County's Most Wanted each week and to share any information that you have about the individuals in our lineup or the cases in the Crime Stoppers segment. Please keep that information coming. We depend on it to keep Calhoun County safe. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.